Hey guys, it's Colin from Dollywood Studios here, and today we are here at the Ace Eastcoaster event for 2026. If you don't know what this is actually a really cool kind of conference-style event where they have a number of parks come here and present to all of us Ace members. We have my dad with us as well. They also have a really cool auction, which I'm going to show you guys in just a second. And yesterday we were actually over at Hersheypark, where they had an exclusive behind-the-scenes tour for us, where we walked through the service center, then we got to walk through Cup Fusion, which was really cool. We couldn't take any pictures, but we got to see Hersheypark in the snow, which is always really cool. And now we're here to hear some exciting news from whatever parks are presenting, which you can actually see right here. Here's the schedule of events. We got a lot of really cool parks. We got Hershey, Holiday World, Dorney, Great Adventure, Dollywood, Universal Creative, which is really intriguing because they've never been here before, Dino's, Knoebels, as well as PTC. So going down the bidding offerings, we have two more Skyrush seats. If you guys remember from last year, we wound up buying one and turning it into a office chair. There's this Iron Menace canvas. We've got this sign. What's interesting this year is that they are not doing the bidding like they did for last year where it was all cash. It is all online, so you can't see any of the bid prices or anything like that unless you go on the website. They've got sploosh kind of bucket, I don't know, ticket collector thing here, Knoebels sign, piece of a chain lift, wheel from Phoenix. I believe that's from Phoenix as well. This is from Thunderhawk at Dorney. That is from Boardwalk Bullet at Kemah. I forget where those are from. I'll have to put it on the screen. This is from Blue Streak at Cedar Point. Some more stuff from PTC, a couple Dorney Park banners, a Talon one. That is a Haunt one. Then down here, we've got this big Dorney Park flag. We've got a PTC restraint from, I forget which ride this is. There's Talon lift walks, as well as Dorney Park tickets. We've got this lap bar. I don't know what ride that's from, actually. I'll have to look on the website. And then the last thing is actually for Great Adventure. It is tickets. You get 4 general admission tickets, single meal vouchers, fast lane vouchers, and a parking voucher. It's actually a pretty good deal. Here's a look at some of the door prizes, which you can win by just getting your group called. So I am group number 3. So hopefully I'll be able to catch some good stuff. We got a lot on this first table. And then over on the second table, what I'm eyeing up is that circuit breaker hat. That is very nice. There's a lot of stuff on all these tables. We'll get a closer look later on. Also a late delivery, we have some Kingda Ka parts. These are large bolts. You have the smaller bolts down there, all with washers. And I really don't know what those are, to be honest. I'll have to look it up and find out.
So to get things started, with the closest park to where we are is, I'm losing my voice, losing my mind. It's Quinn Briner and Amanda Pollock from Hersheypark.
Colin and Phil, I don't know if you want to raise your hand where you guys are. So they run Dollywood Studios, and they were actually here this past year. Yeah, awesome. They were here this past year to do a really cool profile piece, and as part of that, they were able to tour the Storm Runner hydraulics room, interview our director of attractions, and they put together a really well done piece of content. So if you haven't seen it, go check out their social media pages. And we saw the comments on there and it got us inspired. We wanted to take you guys behind the scenes of the actual overhaul process of Storm Runner. So our team got a chance to tour all of it last week. We put together a video. We're not posting this exact video on social media, and we're not doing any social until later. So this is your first chance to see it.
Since 2010, my title is Rides Maintenance Manager. We're standing on the roof of the hydraulic room, right next to our lift hill, the Storm Runner. We begin our overhaul process in November after we close the ride for the season. Begins craning the trains off. In the first 2 weeks, we have about 4 guys that work the ride during the overhaul season. We've got 2 guys that work on the trains consistently. We've got 2 guys that work on the hydraulic system consistently. And that overhaul season runs until about mid to the end of March when we open in April. We crane the trains back on sometime in March and begin testing at that point. So we try and get a few weeks of testing prior to the opening to our guests.
My name is Dean Ziegler. I've been a mechanic at the park for 19 years, and I've been tasked with this amazing piece of machinery. These are all nitrogen tanks down here, nitrogen holding tanks, and there's a piston in here that reflows because we always have nitrogen pressure coming through these lines, the piston lives here during the season. When the kids are at the train all loaded, they're ready to launch it, they push launch. These lock valves open up and release all that stored energy. It goes up through the 2-inch high pressure hoses into the hydraulic motors through a gearbox that's connected to a winch drum. Launch cables are winding up and the return is unwinding. Winch drum's connected to the cable, cable's connected to the test car. The test car then launches the train up the track. The other thing that I like about what I do is watching people go down a launch track with smiles on their faces. It's pretty cool knowing that I have a part of that.
Pretty cool, right? We've never shown the inside of the hydraulics room before, so that's something new.
Take 2 weeks off the
What's that? It's a turkey.
They look tired. Yeah, we did have some rough spots in the Raven. They proved it. So we're doing quite a bit of work this off season. From the 5th drop on, almost all the way to the brake run, we're doing a complete stack replacement. So we've worked with Gravity Group to adjust, do some engineering, adjust our ledgers, and it'll be a brand new coaster from the 5th drop to the brake run. There's a couple other areas on the Raven that we'll touch, and
So we are in the midst of the lunch break right now, and my dad wound up getting called for a door prize, and I had him grab this. So this is, I believe, an actual piece of Aurora wood, or maybe not, but the reason I wanted this is because they were giving this out at Six Flags America's closing day, but we left just a little too early to get this at the exit because they were giving out a whole bunch of little giveaways. This was one of them, and now we got it, so I'm very happy. I should also mention that Holiday World gave everybody one of these Good Gravy patches, and Hersheypark provided everybody with 2 free tickets to go to the park by July 31st, as well as a single-use fast track. So huge thanks to those parks, and I'm sure we'll see some more as we get ready for the second half of the day, which will start with Ryan Eldridge for Dorney and Great Adventure, which I'm sure you guys are very excited for. Then we got Dollywood, Universal Creative, Dino's, Knoebels, and ending it off with PTCI. So something very nice they did, since Dick Knoebel cannot be here this year, they have this really nice big card out front where everyone is signing their names, wishing their best wishes for him.
So my presentation doesn't officially start until I play this clip. But this is kind of like fan service, just for me.
Dedicated to truth, justice, and peace for all mankind. The world's greatest Superman.
And no lie, my 12-year-old daughter wants to kill me because I played that like 20 times because I love Alfundo so much. But my thing with last year was, how do we marry the two brands together? And so we're gonna kind of continue that trend. All right, presentation started.
Meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice.
Right, Dorney Park. That doesn't make any sense. I know, I made it, and then I thought, I actually do have a Hall of Justice, so this makes no sense, but it was too late. I couldn't go back and change it because I've got like 68 slides. Sorry about it.
Hey, what's that?
Whoa! Your favorite coaster credit and mine is due for an upgrade, and we are making that happen at Dorney Park in Wildwater Kingdom. So cars have been stripped, and they are going to get repainted. So I wish I had a laser pointer. But if you see the one that looks like it's completed, that is current. Michael Fainal. Look, you're on screen. Mike was, and look, there he is. Mike was real big on incorporating AI today. He said, you gotta have us as the AI caricatures. And then I show it to him and he goes, why do we have scissors? Or why do I have scissors? I said, because they know you're gonna open a new ride soon. That's why I have scissors. Do you have a microphone?
I heard there's a crane coming.
There is a crane coming.
I didn't know, but I read about it online.
Oh, yeah, I saw it at Dollywood Studios.
Oh, of course.
There's a whole video about it.
There was somewhere else first.
Oh, was it? Oh, that's right. Avocado toast on Reddit.
Avocado toast?
That's the guy. Yeah, the Dippin' Dots guy. The work that's being done is incredible. It's a size and scale unlike anything that we've seen in the modern era. So certainly an exciting future for Six Flags Great Adventure. And we're gonna work with a lot of great partners to make sure that we capture this from every angle. You guys know that's a passion of mine, something that we're really into. I'm sure Colin will be involved. So we're gonna work through this, and I think as we move into the season, we're gonna have more clues, more information. Like I said, we're expecting something any day now.
Any day now.
That will be special to share with all of you.
This is about the Great Smoky Mountains at night. So some of you may know Great Smoky Mountains National Park, that entire biosphere is among one of the most diverse. So it's just going to be, a cool discovery experience for everybody who gets an opportunity to ride it. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Let's throw that out there. Chris Roberry had a great idea to, if some folks would volunteer to drive it down, if we could put an air tag on the truck.
So my first career in the industry was when I was going to community college at Bucks, and that was as a tour guide for Dinosaurs Alive in its inaugural season. And Dorney played a really pivotal part of my journey. This was the first time I was seeing guests in a different capacity. I wasn't the guest, I was learning what it meant to give a good guest experience. And so since I was in community college, I took a quick detour down to Orlando to be a Kilimanjaro Safaris tour guide. Go figure, I think they thought, well, you can give facts about fake animals, why don't we give them facts about real animals? But then moved my way back to Dorney, and I basically took any job they would give me. So I was a ride operator in 2014, then decided to work in the Intel office, then I decided to work as a guest services supervisor, and finally decided to be an admissions area supervisor. So I got a little bit of everything from my time at Dorney. Ballpark-wise, I was responsible for about 6 or 7 elements within the ride box and within the queue. However, my team, that was just me in charge of, my team was in charge of many, many, many moving show elements that I had a hand in as well.
During this winter season, we're all busy, taking apart rides and putting these together, and it can get kind of dark and boring, and coming to these things kind of invigorates me, helps me get my spirits back, like you just did, dude, that was awesome. But you all give that to me, and even more important this year is you honored me with the Ace honorary membership. And this meant a lot to me. Like, to announce it's that Phoenix Now goes around. So every ride gets 2 revolutions. Yeah, you guys saw the hat?
Oh.
That's his shoe. He's got to get his shoe. He's got to turn his phone on first. That's the hat.
So I wound up, well, winning is kind of a weird term to use. I bid on it and wound up getting this. I definitely need to wash my hands after touching this. The Boardwalk Bullet Grab Bar. So if you've ridden a PTC wooden coaster, this is what sits in front of you when you're sitting down. You grab onto this. Dad, what would you call this? The holy...
Oh, the holy
The holy handle, exactly. I'm gonna have to censor that. But that's essentially what this is from a PTC, specifically Boardwalk Bullet.
This is the outfits they're going to be wearing this year. Huh. Well, speaking of costumes, look who's here! So Dad can't be here, but Cosmo made the trip, right? Yeah, you got, all of you love stories. I was out to visit Eric Snow and Matt Eckert at Holiday World. They had an IAPA meetup, and we're riding back in a vehicle from a baseball game. And we're talking about the different characters. I got my picture taken with Holly Cat. And Matt Eckert's like, that's not Holly Cat. He's like, it's Kitty Claus. And I said, well, you have Holly Dog. Why would you have Holly Cat? And Eric goes, okay, well, you have the Creeper. I'm like, it's not the... Speaking of creepers, look at that, he's gonna get 3 wishes. It's Creeper, not the Creeper. It's the best conversation. I wish all of you were in that band that time. It was fantastic.
Heat. Now, about this time, we turned the heat up a little bit, so there's probably floods all over my floor. This was sent to us, and we're going to do some tender love and care with it.
So, got the old boy here on the phone, and he wants to talk. But I need to tell you, he's not having a good day today. So, like I said, he had pneumonia, he had chest infection. So, Sam, you're the nurse, you know all about this stuff. Yeah, he's on 6 liters of oxygen. So, by no means is he fighting for his life. That's not the case. But he's not 100%. So we all remember him as this kick-ass kind of guy, and he's not that guy right now. So might be tough to understand him, but here we go.
All right, as we freeze ourselves to death in this like -12 weather out here, that is it for Eastcoaster. Got a nice haul of merch as usual and got to listen to some great presenters. If you guys are members of Ace and you're from New Jersey or anywhere in PA, it's definitely an event worth doing. No coasters involved, of course, but it's always nice to hear from all the parks that make our seasons so much fun. And I want to thank everyone for a great time and saying hello. If you guys enjoyed this video showing off some of Eastcoaster, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye, guys.